A Nation, written by Portfolio of American Revolution, written by Terry Miller Shannon. Introduction. In 1776, representatives of the 13 colonies signed the Declaration of Independence, proclaiming they were free and independent of Great Britain rule. The colony became a union of United States, the United States of America. The new union of states needed to devise a system of government. Delegates from the states began to study a plan for a new government. It would be 5 years to establish the plan within the Union of the States because of the war with Great Britain. However, it would take another 40 years and another war with Great Britain for new Union to feel united. The Article of Confederation in 1777 delegates the second constitutional in Congress. They agreed to send the new plan for government to state for new review. The plan would become a new document. During the plan, which would become known as Article of Confederation, it did not refer to the United States as a nation, but as a first league of friendship between 13 states. The document set up a federal government as charge of sole state governments. The state lacked the power given under the article. The Article of Confederation gave the federal government, the United States, no power and no freedom to act. The United States had left from the war, but Congress, the branch of federal government created by article, could not tax government, created to raise money to pay off debt. The lack of power to tax the proved to be a fatal flaw in Article Federation. More flaws will be seen in the next few years, including no one executive in charge. The president was elected to oversee the proceedings of Congress, but had no power to make decisions. Congress did not have the power to change some article if the Union States decided something about the plan. It was not working. 9 of 13 states had agreed changes in article. The Treaty of Paris. It took almost 5 years for all 13 states to approve the Article of Confederation. In 1781, the major fighting of the Revolutionary War ended with U.S. General George Washington win over Great Britain. General Charles Cornwallis at Yorktown, Virginia. The war itself wasn't really over for 2 more years. Representatives from the United States and Great Britain discussed the peace terms in Paris, France, from the middle of 1782 until the Treaty of Paris signed on September 3, 1783. Only then was the war officially over. The peace treaty established 2 important ideas. 1. The peace treaty established new United States as an independent country. It set the border of the new United States. It included all lines from the Atlantic Ocean west to the Mississippi River, with the exception of control. The United States northern border was set at the Great Lakes along the border, Quebec and Nova Scotia. Money problem. Once the Revolutionary War was over and Treaty of Paris signed, the United States had terrible money trouble. The government had no money and no power to tax. So many of the soldiers were not paid, but even bigger money headache face of the new nation war debt. The nation owed more than $76 million to foreign countries, individual American and state banks. Leaders did not know how to raise the money to pay off debts. In Massachusetts, money problem inspired a rebellion. Some farmers who fought over the independence lost their farm. They were not imprisoned because they could not pay their debt. In 1786, Daniel Chase, a former Revolutionary War captain, and about thousands of other people marched on the town of Springfield, Massachusetts, and then headed to the Boston. The U.S. Army met them there, and gunfire was exchanged. Some of the workers were tried and hanged, while others were not punished. Chase's rebellion made it clear to the leader that a stronger federal government was needed. Constitutional Convention. To solve many problems of the United States, 55 men arrived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for a meeting at Independence Hall in May 1787. The goal of the meeting was to change the Article of Confederation to make a stronger federal government. The men drafted a constitution that would establish the president to lead the Union, give the Congress the power of tax, and create a new way to change the government document. 12 of 13 states sent delegates. Each delegate was an influential leader in his own state, and those most involved in creating the new union was sometimes called the founder. All delegates were wealthy, educated white men, a reflection of the fact that only white men with property were allowed to vote in most states at that time. They elected George Washington to oversee the meeting, which became known as the Constitutional Convention. The convention lasted for several weeks. Debates over revision to the Articles of Confederation raised tensions on two issues. The first issue was representation. More representatives in Congress could equal more power. Two plans were opposed. One based on representation of population, which meant more representative for states with more people. The other plan made the representation equal for all states. The second issue was slavery. Enslaved people were black people brought from Africa or their descendants, who were treated as property. Enslaved people were forced to live without freedom, often in terrible conditions, and work without pay. Southern states wanted to ensure that they could retain the institution of slavery. They also wanted to have enslaved people counted for representation and could not vote. The delegates of people for representation, their states would be a more equal footing with the northern states. The delegates developed the Three-Fifths Compromise on both representation and slavery. For representation, they created two houses of Congress and Senate. All states would be equally represented. In the House of Representatives, states would be represented based on their population. On the issue of slavery, the delegates prohibited Congress from making any changes to control slavery for 20 years. They also agreed to count each enslaved people as 3/5 of a person when deciding how many representatives each state would get. The delegates also debate how much power the president should have. They developed a system of checks and balances to give each branch of the government equal power. Three branches were proposed on a legislative branch with two houses of Congress, an executive branch with a president, an executive branch with a president, a judicial branch with the system of court to enforce laws, a system to change the constitution. Constitution was also built into the document. On September 17, 1787, 39 delegates of the convention signed the Constitution and sent it to the states for a vote. People everywhere discussed whether the Constitution made a good sense for the government. A group called the Federalist Workers said to ratify Constitution. Another group called the Anti-Federalists worked against it becoming the law of the land. The Anti-Federalists said the Constitution needed to list the people's right. They could not be taken away by the government. Eventually, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists reached an agreement. They included 10 changes to the Constitution, which were called the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights guaranteed the rights to free speech, freedom and religious practice, freedom from a state religion, and other rights. Under the new Constitution, George Washington was selected the President of the United States of America. He took office on April 13, 1789. He served 4 years. Thomas Jefferson. Washington's name Alexander Hamilton as the second lady of the Georgia Hamilton. France to face the national money problem, including taxes on imports and the First National Bank. Hamilton's plan seemed to restore faith in the government and stimulated growth in the economy. John Adams was elected the second President of the United States in 1796. The third was Thomas Jefferson in 1801. Arguments over land. Another problem that faced new country was how to divide the enormous amount of land in the United States. After gaining the Women's Revolutionary War, states governments claimed land to the west, even though they had been inhabited by indigenous people since before the recorded history. Some areas were claimed by several states at one time. The Land of Ordinance of 1785 spelled out how to divide the new land into townships and sections. Many sections went to be sold to settlers. Other sections were set aside for the government and public schools. In 1787, Virginia State Delegate Thomas Jefferson desired that the Northwest Ordinance, which listed to how new states would be created in the Northwest Territory. It ensured that the United States would not hold colonies as Britain had done. The Land of Ordinance and Northwest Ordinance set a stage for a huge westward movement of the settlers in the early 1800s. To make this expansion easier, roads, canals, and railroads were built. The nation was expanding rapidly, and the new government was asking to keep up with the pace. Debts were paid, and with the division of power for the new government was established. The Louisiana Purchase. With all this prosperity and expansion, leaders of the United States started making plans. France hauled from the land from Mississippi River to Rocky Mountain and the port of New Orleans. U.S. citizens could not use the Mississippi River on port of the New Orleans to move coal from the trade. The United States sent word to Napoleon Bonaparte. France intended to by New Orleans. Bonaparte had some military setbacks in Europe. He needed troops and money. In order to fund his war, he offered to sell not only New Orleans, but the entire Louisiana Territory for $15 million. In October 1803, the United States purchased Louisiana Territory for France Action price, and the Louisiana Territory and doubled the size of the nation. The purchase also added 200,000 people to the United States. Many indigenous nations living in the area did not give up their land or power. In fact, they were not even asked. Exploration and war. In May 1804, President Thomas Jefferson sent two army officers, Meriwether Lewis William Clark, plus a 45-man group to find a route across the continent. They would explore the Louisiana territories and report back. Sakaway, for a semi-source girl, served as an interpreter for the group, and the help of the expedition's success. After more than 2 years, the group returned with journals, drawings, and hundreds of samples of plants and animals from the travel. The expedition would lay the groundwork for seizing land in the West. Severe impact on the many different groups of indigenous people who already live here, while Lewis and Clark explored the new Western Territory in the United States and an old ally France fought a raging war with Great Britain. President Jefferson kept the United States out of the war. When James Madison became president in 1808, he hoped to do the same. The United States would not be able to stay out of the war. British and French ships began sealing and searching U.S. ships in order to keep supplies from reaching the enemy. The British also seized the sailors of the captured ships and forced to serve as British sailors. This made U.S. citizens subject to British tyranny once again. In the War of 1812, the United States did not have the ships to fight Great Britain's navy. An invasion to conquer British-controlled Canada failed for 2 weeks with Great Britain. On December 24, 1840, the two countries signed an end peace treaty to end the war. The United States engaged in one more battle against the British after the official end of the war. On January 1815, Americans decisively won the Battle of New Orleans under the General Andrew Jackson, who was unaware of a peace treaty had been signed. Almost 300 British soldiers died, and the U.S. death toll was less than 20. The victory of the Battle of New Orleans made it clear that the United States, not Great Britain, truly controlled the western part of the country. Also made the U.S. nation feel that they have won the war. In truth, neither side was victorious. Maybe the most important outcome was that the late victory made the United States of America feel truly united as one nation.
Good job! We can try again. Click on the items with the red X and find a better answer to We can try again.